Welcome to Pique Your Interest, your go-to podcast for all things mortgage and real estate, hosted by Tanner Greenwald and Tim Malaskis. We bring you expert insights to help you buy, sell, and invest with confidence. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the podcast. I have a very special guest today. I have Amy Salmon with Salmon Insurance Group. Hi, Amy.
Hello, how are you?
I am good, and we're going to be talking about all things insurance related. And so one of the bigger complaints that I hear from people is, you know, my insurance has gone up, my property taxes have gone up. So what can somebody do to sort of defray that, to make that better? What are the things they could do to make their insurance premiums lower?
Sure. So, of course, you know, the first thing that you see on the 8,000 commercials and things that you see on TV is to call around and get quotes, of course. But who has the time? You know, we're all busy. We're all working, raising families, you know, being involved in our communities. Calling around and getting 50 quotes is not the easiest thing, right? So,
it's painful.
Yes, exactly. So what you can try to do is, first of all, is when's the last time you spoke to your agent? Do you have an agent? Let's back up. Do you have an agent would be the first thing, right? So there's a lot of what we call direct carriers, so places that you call an 800 number, you get someone different every time you call. They're great if you're low maintenance, if you don't really care what you have, you want to pay the least amount for insurance and, you know, hope you're covered if something happens. Those are great. You can certainly go with those. I'm not knocking them, but there's a certain demographic that they
fit certain people, right?
Exactly. I would say if you want to make sure you're covered, if you want to make sure you have the best rate, if you want to have someone where you call and speak to the same group of people every time you call, you want an agent. So First would be to find out if you have an agent. If you do have an agent, reach out. You can still reach out to the direct carriers and ask them some of these questions. They might not be as forthcoming or as helpful, just because there's no accountability there, right? They're never going to speak to you again. Once they get off the phone with you, they're done. That relationship is over, as far as they're concerned. When you have an agent, a local agent like myself or any of the local agents around here, you're going to get someone there's an accountability there. I don't ever want any of my clients to walk through my front door upset because they didn't have a coverage or something wasn't covered and they thought it was or anything like that. So there's a transparency, there's accountability there. There's a relationship there. I mean, we really try to get to know our clients. You know, when they walk in the door, we know who they are. When they call us, we know about their families and what's going on. And that helps us to tailor everything to the way that they want it. So reach out to your agent, I would say, is the first thing if you have one. Ask them about discounts. Ask them about things that may have changed in the last year. I wouldn't say you have to call them every month. You don't have to call them every 6 months. I would say once a year is probably the sweet spot, right? Call them and just talk to them. And really just have a conversation is the big thing. You know, one of the things that we kind of talked about earlier is roofs. So roofs are a huge deal on our homeowners. Most people, when they get a new roof, they don't want to call us because they think that's going to make my rate go up, right? Now I have a new roof that they're going to have to pay to replace if something happens, rather than my old 25-year-old roof. I don't want to call them. It's the exact opposite. Most carriers give a pretty big discount for a new roof. It's less likely to leak. Okay,
that makes sense.
So we're going to give you a pretty huge discount for a new roof. So things like that. Discuss that with your agent. Be open with your agent. And I know some people like to hold back because they don't want to give away too much, but it's really important. If you have a good agent, you should feel comfortable doing that. So talk about discounts. Almost all carriers now, as far as auto insurance, use telematics. So what telematics are, they use different devices or different apps on your phone or the different ways of tracking your driving habits. And a lot of people are like, no, I don't want to be tracked. And I totally get that, right? The problem is if you use Waze or Google Maps or any sort of navigation, you're being tracked, okay? So why not get some money off of your insurance for it, right? Is the way I think about it.
That's a great idea.
Yes, so telematics is really a good way to not get lumped in with everyone else's driving habits, but get a rate based on your own. Okay, because you do get lumped in with other people that live in your area or drive the same type of vehicle or at the same age as you. That's how insurance works. I want to get an insurance rate based on me because I'm a good driver, right? And I'm one of the best drivers. So I want to get a really good rate based on my really good driving habits. So use the telematics. A lot of carriers give you a discount just for participating. So even before they even look at your driving habits, you get a 10% discount just for participating.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so that's a great way to try to save some money.
Yeah.
And it's super easy. A lot of them aren't the plug-in devices anymore. We've moved past that in the last couple of years. A lot of times now it's an app right on your phone that just runs in the background, doesn't drain your battery, does use a little bit of data usage. So if you pay for your data and don't have unlimited, you do have to factor that in. But those are things that you can discuss with your agent and make sure. So telematics is a great way to save. Things like automatic payments and payments that aren't on a credit card. A lot of people don't know carriers get charged fees for using credit cards just like any business does. So generally carriers will pass on that savings to you if you use a checking account or a savings account versus a credit card, pass on a savings to you. So the way you pay, how often you pay. Yeah. Telematics, let's see. Losses. So losses are a big thing. If you have a lot of claims on your record, that can definitely affect your insurance rate. So I always say to everyone, again, value of having an agent is when you call us and you say, hey, Aim, this happened. I backed into a pole in the school parking lot this morning. It's a little dent. Should I put it in? Okay, so I'm going to pull up your policy and we're going to look and say, okay, well, you have accident forgiveness, so go ahead and use it. Won't make your rates go up on you. If you don't have accident forgiveness, I'm going to say, all right, well, you have a $500 deductible or a $250 deductible. Go grab an estimate real quick at the body shop down the street. See how much it's going to be. Let's gauge if we should put that in or not. If you have a $250 deductible and it's $300 in damage, probably not worth putting it through for $50. You're not going to have a claim on your record if you don't have that accident forgiveness, which you should. But if you don't, for that $50, you're going to get a surcharge for having a claim without that forgiveness, which might be $60 every 6 months. Now we're in the hole, right? We're negative. We went backwards, right? It's not in your best interest to do that. So things like claims can affect your rate. So talk to your agent before you put in a claim. Talk to your agent about if you have accident forgiveness or claims forgiveness on a homeowner. So most people don't know that that's available through many carriers. You can pay $10 extra, a year to have claims forgiveness on your homeowners. It's not always 10. Yeah, it's not always 10, but it could be a little bit more depending on the size of your home and everything. But yeah, a lot of carriers offer claim forgiveness on a homeowner as well.
No, I think that's something that you don't really know. Like, I didn't know. No, I'll be honest, I didn't know. But I feel like if you don't have an agent, right, if you just call into like some call center, that's probably not something that somebody's going to talk to you about. They're probably not going to go over hey, maybe you should go get an estimate. Maybe we should take a look at what if you do file a claim? What if you don't file a claim? How does this impact you going forward? That's not something that I think a lot of the call centers.
No, and that's just, it's a business model, right? Every carrier does things differently. So generally the call center people, they're working on commissions. They're trained to sell. So they're going to do the lowest coverage that you're comfortable with to keep the premium as low as they possibly can to give them the best chance of making that sale, right? Completely fine. That's their business model. As a local agent, that's not our business model. No, our business model is to go through it, give you options. What lets you sleep at night? What allows you to lay your head on that pillow and sleep soundly knowing that I'm covered if something happens because Amy and I went through it all, or Brand and I, one of my staff, went through it with you. So that's really, the way that we handle things. There's so many different discounts that you can be eligible for. We really, at every renewal, try to go over that if people are willing to. I know life is busy and not everyone can do that. So like I said, every year or two, go over it with your agent, go over those options, talk to them. Things change with carriers as well. So if you've been with the same carrier for your homeowners for 10 years, they could have drastically different discounts or drastically different coverages that are available now that weren't available 10 years ago. So things do change, not only with you and your life and your situation, but also with the carriers.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so go over things that have changed with you. The agent can tell you things that have changed with them and the carrier. So it's really important, that communication piece.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think, again, the value of having somebody local so you can talk to things. I mean, it almost sounds like you should do it like an annual checkup with a doctor, right?
Yeah,
like you
no,
go
exactly.
in every year to get examined by a doctor, or you should.
Yes.
You should. If you don't, you should. But also, like, meeting with someone like you, or even, I imagine it doesn't even have to be a meeting. It could just be a phone call, right?
Yeah,
like,
for
hey,
sure.
Let's go over the policy. Let's
Yep.
talk about coverage.
Insurance
what are we
checkup.
missing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, coverage checkup. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And you can do it. It can be done by email. I have some that just shoot me an email. You know, we email a lot, and they just shoot me an email. Hey, my renewal's coming up. I got your email about my renewal coming up. Anything change? Anything I need to know about? And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, here's 2 things that, you know, we could do now. And they say, oh, well, and I forgot to tell you, so-and-so is getting ready to get their learner's permit, or will this happen, or whatever.
Yeah.
And we can just do a quick checkup, and okay, well, you don't have to let me know now. Once they get their actual license, shoot me the license number. I'll go ahead and add them. But, you know, it's all a discussion,
Yes,
right? And
correct.
the more that we can discuss and be open with each other, the better it allows me to do my job, to make
Yeah.
it more affordable for you and to go over all those coverages.
Yeah.
Coverage is a huge thing. It's a lot,
Absolutely.
right? I go
Absolutely.
through a lot of training, and my staff go through a lot of training to know all of the coverages that are available. So
Good. That's what you want. Right?
Exactly.
Like that's what we need as consumers.
Yeah.
You know, we need that kind of advice.
No, because most people, like I was before I started in insurance a long time ago, you know, I need insurance to drive. Great. Give me what I need so that I can get my plates on my car and I can drive, right? You don't really think about, okay, well, what if this happens, or what if that happens, or, oh, we got an extra car, so we probably don't need rental car on those other 2. That's a way I can save, right? So things like that I can point out to you. That's why you have an expert, right?
No, that makes sense. Well, Amy, I really appreciate you coming on today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank
I
you.
think there's a lot of good information, a lot of experience that Amy has to offer. So if there's anything that you think she can help you do, please reach out to her.
Thanks.
All right, thanks for joining us. Talk
Thanks,
to you
Tim.
soon. Bye.
Thank you.